starts now.
Good morning. It is, sorry, I forgot to check my clock. About 9 o'clock on this Saturday morning. I'm Kelly Taylor. Let's go start with Storm Track 5 meteorologist Alina Lee. Alina, I got some good sleep last night listening to that rain. It's cleared out now. How's the weekend looking?
The rest of the weekend looks pretty decent. There is still a chance of rain later on today. It's a very small chance, but something I want to mention because you may notice it if you spend any lengthy amount of time outside in the afternoon. We'll go over that chance in just a moment. I want to show you what's out there right now on satellite and radar and what's been happening over the last 3 hours. You can see as that system continuously pulls away and weakens as it does so. So you can see that rain is not at that area there is not as widespread as it was before, and it's mainly in central Missouri at this point. Live power Doppler going to be clear for the remainder of the morning here in Kansas City, and skies clearing up a little bit. You can even see some sunshine peeking through the cloud cover with our KB Complete City Cam showing you I-29 up near the airport. 52 degrees now with just a little bit of sunshine. It can go a long way. It's 53 degrees right now in downtown, 52 in Olathe. Already 54 in Lawrence, where there's more sunshine there, and we'll continue to see skies clearing from west to east throughout today. Wind speed and gusts, wind up between 10 and 20 miles per hour for sustained wind speed. We've got gusts up to 25 already at this point in Olathe, near Harrisonville and Clinton. Expect to see those brief gusts up to 25 miles per hour here and there throughout the afternoon, with temperatures back in the 60s today, but I am tracking 70s. And possibly getting close to 80 degrees, which I'll go over when that could happen in your full Storm Track 5 forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Kelly?
Thanks, Alina. Now let's get to the latest this morning locally on the coronavirus crisis. Kansas has nearly 3,000 cases and 118 deaths. Missouri's cases doubled. There are now more than 6,700 and 272 deaths. And today, the Overland Park Farmers Market will open for the first time this year, but things will look a lot different. Vendors will be set up in the convention center parking lot. This is a live look at it. What you can see, the line is already starting to form there. Shoppers will stay in their cars, drive through aisles, and order from their seats. The market is open now until noon. And Johnson County, Kansas is looking to start testing grocery workers for COVID-19. The health director told county commissioners his department is working with Walmart, Price Chopper, and Hen House to carry out tests on workers. And deaf Americans are pushing the White House to do what many leaders are already doing, include a sign language interpreter in their pandemic press conferences. More than 11 million Americans have some kind of hearing loss. KCTV5's Andrew Zimmerman found out why seeing an interpreter is so important to many people in our area.
American Sign Language and English are not the same thing.
Jeffrey Dunlap has worked as an American Sign Language, or ASL, interpreter for 25 years.
I've interpreted for the past 4 presidents.
Jeffrey says that being up on stage is more than just translating.
I make it look like what they sound like, and I become that person that's giving the speech. So I have to show with my body and with my face. Facial expressions are so important to deaf people because we really depend on that to see emotion and see feeling of what's happening.
Leslie Jones Jr. grew up deaf. He had to close his barbershop during the stay-at-home order.
We wanted to share a few details today with you.
And tries to stay up to date with the latest government news conferences.
I always watch them on TV.
But when they don't have an ASL interpreter, Leslie says it can be difficult to understand.
The captioning itself is not always accurate. If you don't put it out in that completely different language in the right way, the audience has a completely wrong understanding of what the information really was.
Proving that sometimes the most important words can come in silence.
I appreciate y'all.
Andrew Zimmerman, KCTV5 News.
Vaccine trials are happening across the U.S. to help find one that will hopefully end the coronavirus. Coming up in Aging in Style, we take a look at a local study called DARE 19.
And today will be breezy and mild. Wind could gust up to 25 miles per hour at times, but still making it into the middle 60s with a little bit more sunshine. Small chance of rain this afternoon, then mainly dry tonight. Much cooler, the low of 43 degrees, but warmer temperatures return. We'll talk about when and how much warmer we'll get in just a few minutes.
You're watching KCTV5 News Saturday morning.
Kathy from El Nexa wrote in and said, our electrician was professional, efficient, and kind. He was patient, even with 3 babies running around in the middle of a family reunion. He was able to fix multiple problems on short notice. Thanks, Kathy. That sure was fun.
It's easy to feel powerless, facing a situation none of us has seen.
The sacrifices we make now will make all the difference to those who are vulnerable.
Helping you make smart choices to keep your family and friends safe. That's how we stand for you.
Michael from Lee Summit wrote in and said, super great service. They were nothing but professional. Would recommend them for any heating needs. The tech was very informative and answered all the questions he could. Thank you so much, MVP. Thank you, Michael.
Call MVP now and get 15% off.
Welcome back to KCTV5 News. This is a live look at the airport. I was mistaken. The other one was from the stadium complex from I-70. This is I-29 here. Gloomy, cloudy, either way, it doesn't matter what city cam we show you. Most of them kind of look like this. It's kind of overcast right now, but that'll change coming up in just a few hours. We're going to see that sunshine come through those clouds and increasing sun, as a matter of fact, throughout the rest of the middle portion of your Saturday. The temperatures now in the low 50s, generally everywhere across the metro, 54 in Tonganoxie, 52 in Leavenworth and KCI, and even Overland Park, just at 52 degrees. So for those of you who may want to hop in your car, get on over to the farmers market near the convention center in Overland Park, you won't have to deal with any rain, no issues there. It should be relatively mild for the remainder of this morning up until lunchtime, where temperatures get close to 60. But I've been talking about that small chance of rain occurring later on today. I don't want to discount this. There could be a brief shower that makes its way across eastern Kansas or the extreme western portion of Missouri later on by 4 or 5 o'clock. Not expecting a whole lot of measurable rainfall as this little disturbance peeks on through, but you may see that rain if you are out and about between 4 and 8 o'clock this evening. As we head through the remainder of tonight into tomorrow, skies clear out, and we're expecting tomorrow to start out a lot sunnier. But that means with clear skies overnight, that's going to help those temperatures drop back down into the low to mid 40s. In fact, tomorrow afternoon may start out cooler, but we eventually get warmer. 70 on track for the afternoon, and then another round of rain returning by Monday. 75 still expected, but we could be near 80 degrees one day this upcoming week. I'll tell you when a little bit later. Kelly?
I am waiting on that day. Thanks, Alina. Now, as the world anxiously waits on a vaccine to attack the coronavirus, there is an exciting trial underway that aims to find a treatment instead. In today's Aging in Style, KCTV5's Carolyn Long takes a look at a study created right here in Kansas City.
The name of the medicine is dapagliflozin.
This is not a new medication. It's been used for years to treat type 2 diabetes. But now cardiologist Dr. Mikhail Kosiborad has launched a global clinical trial through St. Luke's Mid-America Heart Institute to see if it just might treat coronavirus patients, too.
In fact, enrolled our first patient just a couple of days ago right here in Kansas City. It's also going to be hopefully open for enrollment in other countries outside of the United States. The goal is to, again, get to enroll about 900 patients across multiple hospitals in multiple countries.
The goal of this trial, called DARE-19, is to basically treat COVID-19 without trying to attack the virus itself.
We're kind of coming at it from a little bit of a different angle, which is, we don't think this medicine will have direct effect on the virus, but we do think there is a possibility that this medication or medicines like that may protect vital organs from the damage that virus can cause.
Unlike most clinical trials, the participants in this new study will already be ill in the hospital, so they'll be approached by research personnel to take part. And in theory, this could be a relatively fast turnaround.
We sincerely hope to have something to share before the year's end.
Carolyn Long, KCTV5 News.
For more on this segment, go to our website, kctv5.com, and click the Aging in Style section. And coming back from COVID-19, next, the different routes two countries are taking and a possible look at our future.
You're watching KCTV5 News Saturday morning.
Santa Fe Tow Service knows in the need of a tow can be scary and stressful. Our team members will treat you as if they're one of their family members. With the largest fleet in Kansas City, we're one call away. Star Tow from any mobile device.
Construction work can be dangerous. Keeping everyone safe is a big responsibility, and it adds pressure when you work with your family. That's my son out there. You can bet I'm going to do everything I can to keep him and the rest of my crew safe. Notifying Missouri One Call to have the dig site marked before I start digging is an essential part of every job. It's just common sense. Be safe. Always call or click before you dig.
Dig safely, it's the law.
At Price Chopper, feeding Kansas City is at the heart of what we do. For more than 40 years, we've worked with partners like Harvesters to fulfill that mission. Now, in this time of special need, we're making an additional $250,000 donation to our community food bank, creating 750,000 meals. With your help, we can make that more than 1 million meals. Donate at checkout or mypricechopper.com. And be sure to share your positive stories with #KCTogether.
Karen Ross Designs will create your dream kitchen or bathroom in a way that will stand the test of time. Something that will truly last for the next 20 to 30 years.
Hi, it's Jan from Toyota. Many of you still need to be on the road right now. Toyota is here to help.
We're offering an incredible 0% on our most popular Toyotas. That's 0% on Camry, 0% on RAV4, or 0% on Tacoma. Plus, Toyota will defer your payments for up to 90 days. And if you need service for your current vehicle, our service centers remain open.
We're here for you. Contact your local Toyota dealer to see how they can help. Toyota.
Santa Fe Tow Service knows in the need of a tow can be scary and stressful. Our team members will treat you as if they're one of their family members. With the largest fleet in Kansas City, we're one call away. Star Tow from any mobile device.
Welcome back. I'm joined with Storm Track 5 meteorologist Alina Lee. Alina, you just teased us with a warm-up, but we've got to get through this gloomy day first.
Yeah, absolutely. And it won't be gloomy all day long, Kelly. I think we're going to see more sunshine than cloud cover. Just give it a couple more hours. In fact, we're seeing more sunshine from this view than just, 30, 45 minutes ago. Our KV Complete City Cam from Nebraska Furniture Mart showing you Children's Mercy Park here and blue skies out overhead. So we're already starting to see that clearing, especially in KCK, and anything in eastern Kansas will eventually see the sunshine first before western Missouri gets that sunshine later on. In fact, our satellite and radar picture has been mainly dry across the metro and pretty much anyone across our viewing area. And that's what you can see on Live Power Doppler. Central Missouri still dealing with that band of rain that is now tapering off there and going to continuously dry out. But our forecast track tells a little bit of a different story later on today for some. Not everyone expected to see this chance of rain, but there's a small chance you may get caught under a brief shower, and that'll arrive mainly between 4 or 5 o'clock, or at least beginning to arrive at that point, lingering across eastern Kansas, western Missouri for a brief moment. Not expecting to last more than 25 or 30 minutes for any of these showers. They'll be in and out of the area very quickly, so you may not notice it if you're sitting in your house with the windows closed. Hopefully, you can get out and enjoy the pleasant conditions, albeit a little breezy, throughout most of this afternoon for many, especially closer to central Missouri and even closer to the western side of Missouri as well. But for the most part, we'll be dealing with clear skies through the overnight hours. Then tomorrow morning, much drier, and I think we'll see more sunshine, which will help our temperatures warm up drastically in the afternoon. I have not forgot about the cats. It is, of course, still Catter Day, and today's cat forecast, or Catter Day forecast, features Audrey and Grace. I believe Audrey here, the cat, is helping Grace read some books here or do her homework. Thanks to Jen on Twitter for submitting this photo. 61 by 1 o'clock, 64 expected by 4. Again, that slight chance of rain expected. Not everyone will see this rain, but just to mention in case you do see a couple of sprinkles out there. Our forecast track starts on Sunday evening. This one going to move the clock forward into the beginning of the week when things get a little more active. I think there's going to be a chance for a few more showers out there early Monday. Then much drier, skies clear, and we get to 75 degrees by the afternoon. So our warming trend does continue into Monday, even though we're expecting a little bit of rain. Then by Tuesday morning, slightly cool, mid to upper 50s, and then another chance for showers and even a few thunderstorms could develop especially as we head through the day on Tuesday. So you'll notice on our Security Bank 7-day forecast, which we will go over right now, to show you that chance up to about 50% on Tuesday. A weather alert, so just to keep in mind, that's one of those days where we've got nuisance weather, so be careful if you are planning to be outside that day. As temperatures warming up near 80, not until this upcoming Friday.
I told the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, that I disagree strongly with his decision to open certain facilities.
Well, that's not what President Trump and the VP were telling Georgia's governor privately. Two administration officials tell the Associated Press President Trump approved of the aggressive reopening plan before it was publicly criticized by top health experts. Yesterday, gyms, salons, and other non-essential businesses in the state were allowed to reopen. In a tweet, Trump called the claim fake news. He says he told the governor to, quote, do what is right for the state. And this morning, we're taking an in-depth look at reopening efforts around the world. The perspective comes from former KCTV5 colleagues who now live in Germany and South Korea. Here's investigative reporter Angie Racono.
We all want a crystal ball so we can look ahead. And other countries are ahead of us with testing and tracing. They're reopening their economies. Tonight, we look at South Korea and Germany, two different countries with two very different strategies.
Nothing feels normal right now. It feels like upside down world.
Meet Emily Sinovic. She's an investigative journalist who now lives in South Korea. Emily briefly came back to visit family in the United States for a very special reason. This is her niece. But returning to South Korea meant immediate isolation, a 14-day quarantine.
The government has you download an app that monitors your GPS.
The government is now adding electronic wristbands. Cameras watch everything.
There have been some cases of people getting deported because they violated the quarantine.
Everyone in South Korea wears a mask.
This isn't their first rodeo with something like this.
Emily describes South Korea as serious, methodical, but not panicked.
There's restaurants are still open, and the majority of businesses are still up and running. And you still see a lot of people from my window out here, and I can kind of see there's still a lot of people that go out to the park.
Schools and churches were shut down. Daily cases are now in the single digits.
They're pretty big sports fans here, but they're going to open their baseball season in May.
But it will be a new normal. No fans at the first games. South Korea will rely on technology and testing to keep the virus in check. The South Korean government has branded the full return to society as everyday life quarantine.
Test early and test often.
Amanda Palumbo is also an investigative journalist living overseas. She now calls Germany home. These happy photos were taken before coronavirus hit. This year, there will be no festivals. Oktoberfest is canceled. No large crowds in Germany.
I think that was kind of the big concern with Oktoberfest because that brings in 6 to 7 million people in Munich.
Germany will not be monitoring its population like South Korea.
Germany has extremely strict privacy rules.
Citizens are balking at the idea of immunity certificates where the government would keep track of who already had the virus.
There's already kind of a resistance against that. They're like, we don't want the government knowing who has it and who doesn't.
Forget surveillance and apps to track people, but they are aggressive with testing.
When someone started showing symptoms and tested positive for COVID-19, they automatically tested everyone that had close contact and then tested those people who had close contact with those people. And they were able to kind of catch it really early where the people weren't even showing symptoms at the time.
In Germany, people feel more confident about who has the virus. They aren't paranoid about silent spreaders and asymptomatic people. There have been some small protests about reopening the economy.
I think Germans, like everyone else, is kind of chomping at the bit to kind of get back to some kind of semblance of normal.
Normal means oldest students go back first. Social distancing plans for younger students are being crafted. School will return in waves, and some schools may have the oldest and then the youngest return to help with childcare. So kids in that middle age range may actually return last. Swimming pools remain closed.
Social distancing remains in effect in both countries. They're ahead of us when it comes to testing and tracing. It's something the United States is still working on. Angie Racono, KCTV5 News.
Right now, several industries are suffering because of the coronavirus. Coming up, how the fashion industry is trying to catch your eye while you're at home. And later in our newscast, find out how you can get rid of those annoying pests around your home.
You're watching KCTV5 News Saturday morning.
Reliable transportation is important during these uncertain times. Service centers were deemed essential businesses, and our employees continue to work keeping your vehicle running smoothly. The Miracle Mile Auto Dealers are proud to serve the Kansas City community. Our technicians are working hard to keep your vehicle running smoothly while putting extra sanitary procedures in place to keep you safe. Cable Dahmer Chevrolet, Landmark Chrysler and Jeep, Metro Ford, Cable Dahmer Buick and GMC, Landmark Dodge and Ram. The Miracle Mile Auto Dealers on Nolan Road in Independence.
Hi, welcome to Glenn's.
Glenn's Pre-Owned Appliances has a huge selection of quality name brand appliances starting at only $125. Why pay high rent-to-own prices when you can own it right now?
Refrigerators, stoves, gas, or electric.
We have. What did you say?
Glenn's Pre-Owned Appliances, family-owned and operated for over 25 years. Stop in our showroom at 749 Minnesota in KCK or call 913-321-7462.
Many of our aging loved ones with Alzheimer's or dementia need more care than provided at home. If you're worried that your loved one is unsafe or lonely in their current living situation, Cross Creek at Lee's Summit Assisted Living Memory Care could be your perfect solution. Your loved one will be cared for by an attended 24-hour licensed nursing staff, and specialized care programs with medication management will keep your loved one healthy and active in a supportive environment. Call 816-607-5700 today to schedule your tour, or go online to crosscreekatleesummit.com.
Hey, Kansas City, we're here to help.
We know budgets are tight right now.
None of us have ever dealt with this before.
But we're here and we're doing it with you. It is a new time and a new way of doing business.
So whether you're offering curbside delivery
or preparing for the resurgence of the economy,
we're here for you as your partner.
We have options that no one else can offer.
We're definitely going to get through this together.
Stay safe and be well.
We will get through this. Contact us today. Let's work through this together.
KCTV5 CityCam is sponsored by KB Complete.
Welcome back to KCTV5 News. And as the pandemic continues, leaders are looking for ways to speed up the battle against the virus. 35 House lawmakers are pushing a new idea to get the vaccine made quicker. It's called a challenge trial. The idea is to intentionally infect people who had already gotten the vaccine to see if it works. That could speed up development by several months, but there is some risk. People who participate could get very sick or even die. 23% of all Americans say they have a high level of trust in the information they get from the president about the pandemic. But when you ask the same question about state and local officials, that number goes up to 52%. That's according to a new poll from the Associated Press and researchers at the University of Chicago. 60% of Americans say the president isn't listening to his health experts enough. And Joe Biden thinks President Trump may try to postpone November's election. The presumptive Democratic nominee says the president's threat to veto emergency funding for the post office is an example of making it difficult for people to vote. The election is a little more than 6 months away. And if your stay-at-home wear consists of more than sweatpants and T-shirts, you're probably doing better than me. This time of year, retailers are usually promoting new spring and summer looks, and shoppers are refreshing their closets for the season. But with most of us staying home and stores are closed, the fashion industry is taking a big hit, and they're figuring out how to appeal to shoppers with nowhere to go. Caitlin Huey-Burns has the story.
Stay-at-home orders are creating a new spring fashion trend with a nod to 80s hair.
We're calling this mullet dressing, professional on top and then party on the bottom.
Mullet dressing is the new trend for spring 2020.
For sure.
Sarah LaFleur is the founder and CEO of the women's workwear brand LaFleur, one of many retailers now tailoring their brands to consumers who have nowhere to go. She says shoppers seeking advice on how to dress for virtual first dates and business Zoom meetings are making more online styling appointments.
It's been really fun, I think, for our customers to see that and also, say, okay, like just because I'm stuck at home 24/7, it doesn't need to be, my clothes don't also need to be stuck in the same thing 24/7.
Economic fallout from the pandemic has hit the retail industry especially hard, with clothing and accessories sales plummeting 50%.
There's certainly a backlog of inventory in many of the retailers because they had planned to sell this at this time. In fact, there's a lot of discounting going on online by these retailers to move this inventory.
But there are a couple of bright spots, including increased U.S. demand for loungewear, like tracksuits, sweatpants, and robes. The casual wear line Z Supply has tie-dye sweatsuits flying off its digital shelves.
What trends do you think are going to be inspired by this time that we're spending at home?
We actually are pivoting pretty quickly here. I have a feeling that a lot of us are going to want things that are an easy way of layering and an easy way of protecting when we need it.
Several fashion brands have converted studios to make facial masks for healthcare workers, and designers expect a lasting impact on the industry and how people think about fashion.
Wanting that next it bag or those next pair of Gucci slip-ons kind of fell to the bottom of our priority list.
And I think a lot of our customers now are saying, okay, I don't need a lot of pieces, but I need a few pieces that are really meaningful to me.
And one of those meaningful pieces may just be the outfit you buy under stay-at-home orders, with the dreams of leaving the house eventually. For CBS News, I'm Caitlin Huey-Burns, New York.
And designer Christian Siriano is one of those big brands that stopped making clothes to make protective gear for people on the front lines. So far, his team has shipped more than 10,000 masks to essential workers in New York. And straight ahead in the next half hour of our KCTV5 News this morning, there's a growing concern over food production. Coming up, the precautions one Missouri town is taking. Plus, it's day 3 of the NFL draft, and the Chiefs are still adding future prospects to their roster. Later, we take a look at their picks so far from rounds 1 through 3.
You're watching KCTV5 News Saturday morning.
It's the lawman here. Are you lost in the legal jungle? Let the king of the jungle and my sidekick, Little Jane, help you escape a DUI, possession, misdemeanor, or felony charge. Call me, the lawman, for a free consultation.
Call the lawman at Jungle Law.
Hi, we're with HCA Midwest Health.
This is a challenging time for Kansas City as well as our entire world.
Each day we are honored to care for our community.
And we are grateful and humbled by so many who have reached out to help.
And supports one another in their time of need.
This is a community that cares so deeply. This is the city that stands behind each other.
Supports one another and is resilient.
And we remain here for you because in Kansas City, we stay together.
If it drips, leaks, or clogs, KB Complete can fix it. For a limited time, mention this ad and get $50 off any plumbing service repair.
Call us today, and we're on the way.
Remember, the plumbing job isn't complete until it's KB Complete.
Welcome to Job Connection. Jet.com in Edgerton is hiring seasonal warehouse associates. Part-time, full-time, and overtime opportunities available. Starting at $16.50 per hour. Apply at walmartcareers.com/FCjobs. Look for Job Connection at KCTV5.com.
Ford is built to lend a hand, especially now with 6-month payment relief. Buy a new Ford. We'll defer 3 payments and make 3 payments. As an essential part of your community, your Ford dealer can assist with home delivery and other vehicle service options. After all, you have a lot to take care of. Let us help take care of you. Buy a new Ford with 6 months payment relief or choose 0 for 84 plus 3 months deferred payments on most 2019 Ford vehicles. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
It's the lawman here. Are you lost in the legal jungle? Let the king of the jungle and my sidekick, Little Jane, help you escape a DUI, possession, misdemeanor, or felony charge. Call me, the lawman, for a free consultation.
Call the lawman at Jungle Law.
KCTV 5 News Saturday morning starts now.
Good morning. It's 9:30 on this Saturday. I'm Kelly Taylor, and let's check in with Storm Track 5 meteorologist Alina Lee. Alina, how are we looking outside now?
We're still looking cloudy in many spots here in the metro, but the farther west you live, closer to eastern Kansas, that's where you're seeing a lot more sunshine, so probably looks a lot better from your view in Lawrence, maybe even in parts of Johnson County, Kansas. But here in Kansas City alone, we are looking at our KB Complete City Cam from State Street. So this is what it looks like overhead, mainly cloudy, but those clouds are clearing out pretty quickly, and we'll see a little more sunshine throughout the remainder of the morning, heading into the early afternoon hours. KCI up to 52 degrees, 53 in downtown, 53 in Olathe, and cloudy still in Sedalia, where the rain has finally come to an end, or at least it did just a half hour ago or so, and 54 now in Lawrence. There's also going to be a slight breeze out there, wind gusting up to 25 miles per hour, and we actually have that out there right now between Olathe, Harrisonville, Paola, 24 to 25 miles per hour for your latest wind gusts, sustained wind between 14 and 16 miles per hour. Out near Sedalia, latest gust report coming in of 28 miles per hour, sustained wind up to 18. So expect a little bit of a breeze here and there. We've got mild temperatures expected for the afternoon, 64 the high, and a slight chance of rain as we head through the afternoon and early evening hours. I'll go hour by hour on Storm Track 5 forecast track with the latest update to let you know who will see that chance of rain and what the rest of your weekend looks like coming up in just a few minutes. Kelly?
As states across the nation continue to assess their reopening plans, the U.S. death toll from the coronavirus has topped 51,000. In Georgia, businesses like nail salons opened yesterday, while other states work on gradually reopening their economies. Oklahoma and Michigan also had limited reopenings yesterday. Monday, Tennessee, Minnesota, and Colorado will join them. President Trump praised efforts by a number of states to restart their economies.
We ask every American to maintain vigilance and hygiene, social distancing, and voluntary use of face coverings.
And Nebraska's governor announced the state is loosening social distancing rules at houses of worship. Households will be allowed to sit together but 10 feet apart from others. And we're taking you inside one of Missouri's rural COVID-19 hotspots. The concerning part is an also important hub for food production. Marshall, Missouri in Saline County is home to large food processing plants like ConAgra and Cargill. The county has one of the highest per capita rates of infection in the state, with breakouts happening in both plants. KCTV5's Nathan Vickers tells us how the healthcare system there is responding.
In a town like Marshall, a hospital is at the forefront of a health crisis.
We, as a sole community hospital in rural Missouri, have a dedication to our community.
Angie Littrell is the CEO of Fitzgibbon Hospital, which has tested around 1,500 people in the past few weeks. Saline County has seen more than 140 cases, including a cluster at ConAgra, which shut down last week as a result.
In our community, we have a number of food processing businesses, and they have a lot of employees that work in close proximity with one another, and they're responsible for a significant amount of production in the area.
ConAgra and Katy Trail Health also set up a drive-through site today at one production plant, screening employees who want to return to work when it reopens next week. The hospital has also tested dozens of other workers from ConAgra and area businesses.
We've worked really hard to expedite results for them so that they are able to understand when they can put folks back to work.
Workers like Alex Arnold.
Didn't hurt, just felt weird.
He works at a nearby food processing plant and wants to get back.
To get tested for the COVID-19 so I can go back to work. Bored and just sitting around.
The county plans to start mass testing people next week at a public site. They say they have 400 kits ready to go on Tuesday.
We will be part of an ongoing response to the COVID-19 crisis.
Employees at food processors have been among the hardest hit by the virus nationwide.
We have an amazing team. They have put in hours and hours, and they're on the very front line.
The front line of a crisis in their own community. In Marshall, Nathan Vickers, KCTV 5 News.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson says that he's moving ahead with plans to end the statewide stay-at-home order on May 4th. And that means allowing many small businesses to reopen. He promised more details next week.
Some of the items that we will address include guidelines for small and large businesses and retail manufacturing, a plan for restaurants to reopen, businesses such as barbershops, hair salons, and gyms, as well as other jobs requiring people to be within 6 feet of each other.
The governor says there will also be plans to address places of worship, school graduations, weddings, and summer youth sports. Meanwhile, the stay-at-home order for Kansas City, Missouri will stay in effect until May 15th. And Mayor Lucas, he made it clear that he disagrees with what the governor is doing. Nursing homes continue to be among the hardest hit facilities by the coronavirus, and the unified government of Wyandotte County announced yesterday 2 clusters at retirement homes. At the Delaware Highlands Assisted Living Center, 16 residents and 2 staff members tested positive. And at Life Care Center of Kansas City, 2 residents and 2 staff members are infected. 4 more wrongful death lawsuits were filed against the Riverbend Post-Acute Rehabilitation Center yesterday. And there has been another death at the center, bringing the total to 28. 127 people tested positive there. The State Department says a handful of people who originally tested negative have been retested and are now positive for the virus. Tomorrow, 575 employees will be furloughed at Children's Mercy Hospital. That could last up to 60 days. On top of that, the hospital isn't filling 200 openings. Top executives will also take a pay cut. 350 employees are already working fewer hours. During the pandemic, the hospital has only treated 4 COVID patients. They say surgeries and outpatient procedures are down 70%. This morning, we're learning a government agency says companies can test employees for COVID-19 before allowing them back into the workplace. Mandatory testing is usually banned by the Americans with Disabilities Act. But the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission says companies can do it in this case because the virus could be a direct threat to the health of other people. And this is scary to think about. Staying home plus constant cleaning is resulting in increased poisonings, especially in children. The Missouri Poison Center tells us cases are up 35% over last year. Kids are getting into cleaning supplies like bleach and hand sanitizer. And a majority of the cases involve children found with a container, maybe chewing on the lid or licking the substance off their hand. And will classes be back in session on campus this fall? That's what many parents and college students are wondering. And the University of Missouri says it's planning on it. The university system president sent out an email. It says the school has teams working on planning for the return of students, faculty, and staff this fall. The return of campus will be within a new normal. And if you want to be active today and help support a good cause, listen, this one's for you. The annual AIDS Walk Kansas City starts right now. It's happening virtually. For the first half, you'll hear messages from AIDS Walk leaders and supporters on the AIDS Service Foundation of Greater KC's Facebook page. Then from 10 to 10:30, team captains and supporters walk virtually from their own homes on the same Facebook page. And are you a space enthusiast? If so, NASA has a message for you. Don't show up in Florida for SpaceX's historic astronaut launch next month. The agency's first human space launch is scheduled for May 27th. NASA wants people to watch it online instead and not flock to Florida and potentially spread the coronavirus. Despite the pandemic, NASA says it is pushing forward with the launch because it's a critical part to maintain normal operations on board the International Space Station. And with flowers in bloom and more rain, that means more pests are around. Coming up, a few tips on how you can keep them away from your home.
And the weather's going to be much better throughout the afternoon, at least early portion of the day, once the temperatures get back into the 60s and sunshine continuously increasing. We're looking at mostly sunny skies by 3, then 4 o'clock, increasing cloud cover for some. A slight chance of rain expected between 4 and 7 p.m. We'll go over who has those highest chances and when warmer temperatures return in just a few minutes.
You're watching KCTV5 News Saturday morning.
Being outside and the fresh air is appreciated so much right now, but it's also severe weather season.
And in this time of social distancing, what to expect and how to plan for it is more important than ever. Storm Track 5 is here for you on every screen.
On the KCTV5 live streaming news app.
So when severe storms approach,
or you just want to know the best time to grill or mow your lawn,
we're working hard to make sure you're safe from severe weather wherever you are.
Storm Track 5 on KCTV5 News stands for you.
Hi, I'm Ashley, one of over 11,000 Price Chopper teammates in Kansas City. In this difficult time, we all have to work together to help out. I'm proud to announce that Price Chopper is donating 750,000 meals to harvesters to help families in need. Go to mypriceshopper.com to learn how you can help. And please share your positive stories with hashtag KCTogether.
We're going to get through this stronger and better than ever with KC Together.
I was wondering, Rick, how do I choose the best investments for the most return?
It's not about picking the best investment because nobody knows how to do that. Since we don't know which horse is going to win the race, let's bet on every horse. And let's own the racetrack besides. There's stocks, bonds, government securities, real estate, foreign securities, oil and gas, precious metals, exponential technologies, commodities. We have to recognize that there's this broad array of investing opportunities to enable you to achieve your long-term goals. Diversification is meant to...
Current conditions, sponsored by Mission Plumbing, Heating and Cooling.
Welcome back to KCTV5 News, 9:41 right now, and we're seeing some sunshine, at least now. Downtown Kansas City, City Cam showing you the Sprint Center, and it's pretty gloomy, but there is a little bit of sunshine coming through the clouds. They're kind of moving in waves here, but other than that view there, we'll continuously see sunshine, clearing skies from west to east today. 54 degrees in Tonganoxie, Leavenworth at 52. Low 50s in Independence, Blue Springs, Raytown at 53. Downtown Kansas City also at 52 degrees. Here is a look at our wind speed and gust map. You can kind of see wind gusting up to 25 and 27 miles per hour between Blue Springs, Lee Summit, and Grandview. We've got at least an update now, up to 26 miles per hour, but still breezy in these areas. And we'll continue to see this breeze throughout the remainder of today. Our backyard forecast, if you plan to, lounge in your hammock or maybe have a picnic in your backyard, you should have some pleasant conditions to do that by the lunch hour. With increasing sunshine around, we'll get to about 60 degrees, 64 the high today here in Kansas City. Slight chance of rain, especially in the east side of Kansas, maybe western Missouri, and then we'll be in the low 60s by 7, partly sunny skies and dry for the remainder of the evening. And then much warmer temperatures return before the weekend is over. We'll go over just how warm it'll get coming up in just a few minutes. Kelly?
Well, after weeks of delays, people who lost their jobs in Kansas will start receiving an extra $600 in unemployment benefits. The payments were part of the first coronavirus aid package. Kansas governor says that the delay was caused by an error in the Labor Department's processing system. And the state of Missouri says there is a 42% drop in sales tax this month compared to last year. Now, some are pushing to add sales tax online. Legislation has been filed to add it. Right now, when you shop online in Missouri, it's likely you're not paying sales tax, but some stores have voluntarily started collecting it.
We think it's only fair to the brick and mortar stores, the folks that are there day in and day out paying rent in a building where you can go in and buy stuff and you got to pay your sales tax. We think it's only fair that you have to pay that when you order online. And the reason for that is just, why should ordering online be an advantage over being able to go to a store?
People against the bill see it as a tax increase, but state lawmakers want to see it offset by other tax cuts. And the USDA is approving a request from Missouri's Department of Social Services. It allows Missourians on food stamps to buy groceries online. The state will join 6 other states as part of the USDA's pilot program, and we're still working to learn when this will start in Missouri. And now to something no one wants. Pests are waking up from hibernation and they're hungry. They're eyeing your home for food and shelter. In this week's Better Homes report, we teamed up with the folks over at Blue Beetle Pest Control for some tips on how to keep them out of your space. This is Mitch Shipman, the owner of Blue Beetle Pest Control, and he says calls for ants and termites are big this time of year.
The ants and termites don't care about any virus or anything else. All they see is a big house full of wood, and they want to eat it.
According to the National Pest Management Association, termites cause $5 billion in damage in the U.S. each year. And while they're mainly after wood, ants are looking for any food you've left out.
They notice a kitchen full of food and crumbs because everybody's home right now, and they're loving coming in and they're hungry.
With fewer customers letting extra people into their homes during this pandemic, Mitch recommends treating the outside of your home to get the job done.
Generally, ants have a nest in the yard or in the mulch outside your house. We do an outside perimeter service and put a barrier out so the bugs can't get inside.
Every season brings about different pests. The folks at Blue Beetle say you see more ants, spiders, and cockroaches in the spring, ants, stinging pests, and house crickets in the summer, spiders, mice, and rats in the fall, and earwigs, spiders, and mice in the winter. Mitch also recommends keeping your place clean as possible to keep the ants out. He says if there's no food for them to eat, they won't stick around.
Cleaning up the countertops and make sure there's no food debris or jelly or anything else kind of laying around. And there'll be nothing. And any dripping faucets. The ants still have to have water.
It's been a busy 2 days for the Chiefs. We hear from head coach Andy Reid about the team's newest addition. That's next in sports.
You're watching KCTV5 News Saturday morning.
Introducing the all-new KCTV5 app. Live, local, free.
When was the last time you looked at Central Bank? We mean really looked at what's possible when you combine leading-edge technology with a bank who can make important decisions locally and who can help you turn what's possible into what's real. Take a new look at the world of possibilities with Central Bank. Strong roots, endless possibilities.
Sutherland's wants to help you create your dream space. Fill it with plants and beautiful flowers, refresh your landscape, and do a little cleanup. Want to cut your mowing time? Get a zero-turn mower. Sutherland's has new 2020 models from Bad Boy and Gravely, the best in the industry. Right now, get free delivery and setup on any ZTR mower you buy. Sutherland's would like to remind all friends of the family members they'll get double rewards on their purchases. Shop local. Shop family-owned Sutherland's.
Hi, folks. Jerry O'Neill. I'm personally so blessed I could retire. However, I have 65 salaried employees and over 140 installers that need to work every day to provide for their families. I love these people. They're my family, so I'm going to pay them no matter what. Keep things going for them and for you. I'm dropping my prices to the ridiculous. Nothing down, low payments. Call now.
Welcome back. It is about 9:48. Alina, my daughter was just here. She wanted to say hi, but then she got scared at the last minute. What? But she wants to know if she can go outside and ride her bike today. Will the weather cooperate?
I think so. Tell Taylor I say hello, and maybe she should just come in the background maybe a little later before the show ends, and we'll say hi. But yes, the weather's going to be great if anybody wants to spend any time outside through the remainder of the morning, heading into the early afternoon. I do want to show you the rainfall totals just from yesterday's rainfall alone. And we saw 1.5 inches in Olathe, and a lot of areas in northeastern Kansas saw reports over 1 inch of rainfall just within yesterday. This morning, these are not including those totals, which some areas closer to central Missouri saw over 1 inch as well. For the most part, KCI broke a record, a daily rainfall record. The previous record was set back in 1897 of 0.91 inches. We got up over that, 1.09 inches there. St. Joseph, less than an inch, 3/4 of an inch basically in Lee Summit, 1/2 inch between Pleasant Hill and Chillicothe. Kirksville, just up to 4/10 of an inch there. For the most part, though, we won't be tracking any more measurable rainfall today. There could be a brief shower later on, but I think most areas, especially closer to central Kansas, the extreme eastern viewing area, portion of our viewing area, you guys will be dry for the most part. But hey, we're now seeing some sunshine, and this is the view that we've been looking at and checking on at least over the last hour or so, that has been showing more sunshine than cloud cover with every passing minute. So that's what we're showing you from the KB Complete City Cam network from Nebraska Furniture Mart. You'll see this entire storm system that continuously pulls away, and all this moisture, as far as cloud cover is concerned, will be clearing out everywhere. Again, from west to east, though. So those off to the east of the 435 loop, closer to central Missouri, those areas expecting to see the sunshine last. But that will occur throughout the afternoon. Our forecast track going over this afternoon, that will bring us a small chance of rain. You can see by 5, 6 o'clock, there will be an isolated brief shower that arrives mainly across eastern Kansas and the extreme western side of Missouri. Not expecting a whole lot of measurable rainfall with this little disturbance. Most areas should be dry off to the east. Now, our Saturday forecast, once again, can't forget about those loving cats. If you missed it the last half hour, this is Audrey. She is helping Grace do her homework, read some books here. Thanks again to Jen from Twitter to submit that photo. Hey, 61 degrees at 1 o'clock, 64 expected by 4. Again, slight chance of rain today. Better chances as we head through Monday. So we've got this forecast track starting Sunday night, mainly dry until we hit about 5, 6 a.m. Could see a couple of showers already arriving at that point. And then look what happens by the afternoon. We actually get warmer, and at least conditions improve. 75 degrees expected by Monday afternoon, 50s overnight, then another round of showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms expected as we head through Tuesday afternoon. There might be a few stronger storms with this next system on Tuesday, and you'll notice on our Security Bank 7-day forecast, we have a weather alert up just for that Tuesday, so we'll be monitoring this system over the next few days and keep you guys updated at home. 72 the high still, a little bit cooler on the back end. You'll see 60s by Wednesday, and then warming right back up. In fact, we might even see 80 return before we end this upcoming week.
The Chiefs' last second-round pick out of Mississippi State turned out pretty well in Chris Jones, and yet again they go with a Bulldogs defender, picking linebacker Willie Gay Jr. with the 63rd overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. The Chiefs needed a playmaking linebacker, and at 6'2", 240 pounds, Willie can give them that. As a junior, he finished with 28 tackles, 3.5 for loss. He forced a fumble, recovered 2 fumbles, and a sack, plus an interception return for a touchdown. Reed says despite some limited games, he believes Willie will be ready.
Honestly, I was telling my family, my phone interviews with the Chiefs went so well, man, you know, the past few weeks, that I said, man, they can't pass on me twice, you know.
We felt very comfortable taking him at that spot. It also helps to have, it helps to have the people in the locker room that we do, you know, with Tyron and Frank. They'll take him under their wing, Hitch. You know, that whole linebacking room is a very tight group. They'll take him in and make sure he's in good hands.
In the AFC West, Denver adds another receiver in Penn State's KJ Hamler and a center. With picks 80 and 81, the Raiders take Kentucky running back Lynn Bowden and receiver Brian Edwards out of South Carolina. Whole lot of offense going on in the AFC West during this draft, including Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was the first running back drafted in the first round by KC since 2003.
With the 32nd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs select Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
There aren't many people in the Chiefs training complex that aren't excited about what he can bring to this Chiefs offense. And we heard from Andy Reid just how much he likes this guy.
He knows how to play the game. He can block for you. He can run routes. He's got tremendous vision and lateral abilities with cuts and route running, all those things. He's just a real good football player. And he's got the heart of a tiger, as they'd say at LSU.
And speaking of Tigers, Mizzou defensive tackle Jordan Elliott was selected by the Browns with pick number 88. And with pick number 96, the Chiefs go with an offensive tackle out of TCU in Lucas Niang. That's a look at sports. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, who doesn't love pizza? A couple local attorneys missed seeing their employees in the office, so they called up Minsky's Pizza yesterday and put in an order for delivery to everyone on staff. They say pizza night is a special tradition at their house.
With our entire staff working from home, I wanted to bring them in on the Deepest Quality family tradition so they could spend good quality time with their families tonight.
And Mike also said that he wanted to support a local restaurant during this time. Well, are you missing your favorite ballpark favorites? Now you can make them at home. The Royals shared the recipe for their famous brisket nachos. It's basically nachos topped with brisket, coleslaw, cheesy corn, and barbecue baked beans. Alina, how does that sound?
That sounds really delicious. At 10 o'clock in the morning, even for me. I mean, well, we do get up early, so I'm already eating spaghetti by 7. So, hey, this is pretty good. It's a lot of work, though, that goes into this dish. The big plastic baseball helmet that it's usually served on is not included, but you can find the recipe on our KCTV5 News app. You can just click Found It on 5. That looks dang delicious. Kelly.
I can't see it, but it sounds good. How about that? All right, thanks, Alina. Well, an act of generosity by a retired Kansas farmer is getting a lot of attention across the country. Yesterday, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo read the letter he got from him.
I'm a retired farmer hunkered down in northeast Kansas with my wife, who has but one lung and occasional problems with her remaining lung. She also has diabetes. We are in our 70s now, and frankly, I am afraid for her. Enclosed, find a solitary N95 mask left over from my farming days. It has never been used. If you could, would you please give this mask to a nurse or doctor in your state? I have kept 4 masks for my immediate family. Please keep on doing what you do so well, which is to lead. Sincerely, Dennis and Sharon.
And the governor said that it is an example of the selflessness that he's been seeing throughout this crisis. And that's it for Alina and I this morning. Thank you for joining us. You can always log on to KCTV5.com or your mobile app for updates on news and weather. Have a good day.